Hi guys, good evening. We are ready to begin. All right, so we're going to start number one. This is the 2015. So items 1 to 3 refer to the following map extract of Golden Grove, Jamaica, and its environs. Question 1 says, what is the grid reference of the school at Golden Grove? So let me zoom in a little. This is Golden Grove here. This is the school. And to find the grid reference, 6-figure grid reference, remember that you're going to find the 4-figure first. To do that, we use the capital letter L. So we would look what this line is, first of all, and then we look for this line, which would have been 42. So that is 2742. That's what our 4-figure would look like. So we need to look for an answer that the 4-figure is 2742. There is only one like that. So the answer for number 1 would have been letter A. This is the only one. Let me just double check, right? So that is 2742. That would have been the only one that gave us that response. So I'm seeing that Vadish is getting it correct. Good job, Vadish. Moving on to number 2, the general direction of Port Morant from Golden Grove is, so we need to find Port Morant and back to Golden Grove. So Port Morant is down here, and the general direction, Golden Grove, is up at the top. So it says off Port Morant from Golden Grove. So it means our starting point is at Golden Grove, which is here. Wherever your starting point is, that is where you would draw your north-south line. So you draw your north-south line here, connect your 2 points. So that means it is towards the south and it is towards the western side. So we're looking for a southwest answer. So we just go back to check. There we go. The general direction of Port Morant from Golden Grove is southwest. So our answer for number 2 would have been letter C. Good job, Vadish, again, and good job, Duki and Haven. Number 3, the bearing of the main road junction at Golden Grove from the main road junction at Arcadia Junction. So notice that they have the word from in bold. It just shows you how important that word is because that is what is showing you where your starting point is. So once you have your starting point correct, then more than likely you would get the rest of it correct. So the bearing of the main road junction at Golden Grove from the main road junction at Arcadia. Let's look at it. Main road junction at Golden Grove from the main road junction at Arcadia. Arcadia is over this side. And it is asking for the bearing. All right, so since we are starting from Arcadia, right, it says we're starting from Arcadia. So since we're starting from Arcadia, which is here, we would have connected our point to the junction at Golden Grove up here. So just from looking at it only, since it is asking for bearing, just by looking at the responses or just by looking at the map itself at first, you would be able to tell that your answer would have been close to, it would have been between 0 and between 45 degrees. Between 0 and between 90 degrees, maybe 40 something. So we can look at the answers just to, there we go. check. So based on the location, A would have been our answer. That would have been 45 degrees just by looking at it. So when you're in your multiple choice exams, there may be some questions just because of your knowledge of it. You may not need to actually go and work it out. So this could be one of them. But if you're in the exam and you're seeing another close answer, ensure that you use your protractor and actually get the actual response, the correct response. So for number 3, our answer would have been A, 45 degrees. So Rohan, again, Duki, and Haven. Good job, guys. All right, so we're on to number 4. Item 4 refers to the following map. Where did we see this map before? We have seen this map before on, I think, more than one paper. And I think this map was also posted on the Instagram page at one point. So let's look at the question. What is the form of the settlement in which the church is located? What is the form of the settlement in which the church is located? So let's go find the church. If you don't know your map symbols, you can just look in your key, you find your church, and here is our church, and we're looking for the settlement type. So this is along a roadway. It is taking the shape of a line. So that looks like a linear pattern. So from looking at number 4, our answer in that would have been letter B, which is our linear. Number 5, the feature passing through P is, so we just need to find P on the map. Once you find P, you look at your key to give you an idea of what the feature is. So here is our feature right here. It looks exactly like this. So our feature on the map that runs through P right here is a railway. So you go back to your responses here. Feature passing through P is D, a railway. Hold on. It's not a railway. Railway, the lines would have been closer to each other. It's actually a canal. The canal is wider apart, like this one. So the canal is wider apart. Railway lines are closer together. So our answer for this question would have actually been canal. So that's number 5 would have been letter C. All right, so we're seeing Rohan getting that right, Caleb and Francisco. Good job. So you guys are on point. That's good. The good thing is that we have looked at either questions exactly like this or questions that are similar in nature. So it gives you a pretty good idea of what to expect. So I noticed that your answers are quicker. So you can just look at it and tell what the answer is going to be. So that is very good. Duki, you need some confidence, man. You don't need to delete it, but you can ask me. If you think that's the answer and I say something else, you can ask me and then we can discuss it as to why we are choosing that specific answer. So when you understand why you're picking an answer, when you get in the exam, it is easier for you to figure out and have some confidence and understand why you chose that specific answer. All right. So for number 5, it is canal. Let's move on to number 6. If you notice again on the papers, you would have majority of your map work or your practical skills questions towards the first part of the paper. So there's another video about multiple choice for geography exam, specific tips that you can use, steps that you can use to ensure that you get your best mark in the exam. So you can look at that as well because you notice that most of your practical questions are towards the top section. All right. 6 to 7. What is the location of St. Petersburg? Let's find St. Petersburg. It's right here. All right. we can see the 0-degree line here. So we know that St. Petersburg is towards the eastern section based on how the numbers increase because it is towards the east of the 0-degree line. We're also seeing our 0-degree line of latitude here below St. Petersburg. So that means Petersburg is towards the north. So that's what we're going to be looking at. So it is at 60 degrees north. That's the line here. And then it is at 30 degrees east. So that is what we are going to be looking for, 60 degrees north, 30 degrees east. So our answer for number 6 is letter D. And we have Haven getting it correct, Duki correct, Rohan. Oh, Rohan is giving me number 7. Liverpool getting it correct. Number 7. What time is it in New Orleans when it is 10 p.m. on Monday in St. Petersburg? So let's go work this one out. So what time is it in New Orleans when it is 10 p.m. on Monday in St. Petersburg? So it's 10 p.m. here on Monday, and we want to find out the time here at New Orleans. So we are going in a westerly direction. When you're going towards the west, you would lose time. That means you would minus. Remember that 15 degrees equal 1 hour. So even though these are at 30-degree intervals, we are still working with the 15 degrees equal 1 hour. It's universal. That's how it will always be. So St. Petersburg is 10, and we are losing time. So we would be subtracting. So it is 10 on Monday. Was it AM or PM? Hold on. 10 p.m. on Monday. All right. So 10 p.m. on Monday, we're losing time. So it is 9 p.m., 8 p.m., 7 p.m., 6 p.m., 5 p.m., 4 p.m., 3 p.m., 2 p.m. it looks, 2 a.m. it looks like. Let us see. It would have been 2 p.m. on Monday because it is 10 p.m. in the night at St. Petersburg. So it would be 2 p.m. Monday, just the same in New Orleans. So for number 7, it would have been letter D. Let's see who got it right. Duki, again, good job. Haven, Cannes, Liverpool. Nice. Very good. Number 8, the direction of the prime meridian from New Orleans is. So we're looking for the prime meridian. That's this one. Prime meridian, direction of the prime meridian from New Orleans. So New Orleans is here. And the direction of the prime meridian from New Orleans is this way. So it would have been towards the east. So our answer for that one is letter A, which would have been east. So Duki is right, Rohan is right. Very nice, guys. It looks like you're ready for your exam, and that is very, very good. I can see lots of improvement in the speed of your answers and also in the accuracy of your answers. Very good. Number 9, items 9 to 10 refer to the sketch map below. All right, what is the type of slope at XY? So we are seeing the type of slope here. Hi, JH Math Pro. Guys, remember when it is time for your exam, for your math exam, you can check out JH Math Pro. They just waved in the live chat, so you can click on their link and you can just subscribe to their channel as well. I'm sure you will get as much out of it as you're getting out of mine. So for number 9, what is this type of slope at XY? So let us look at the type of slopes that they have given us. We have a dip slope, scarp slope, convex, or a concave slope. So if we look at the types of slopes that we have, X to Y here, it is relatively even. It is relatively even, sorry about that. It is relatively even for the type of slope here. So it would have been our scarp section of the slope. So that would have been letter B for our answer. Number 10, the approximate gradient of the line AB is, so that is from here to here. How we calculate gradient? Well, gradient is basically talking about the steepness of the land over a specific distance. How we calculate gradient would have been the vertical difference, that is the difference in height of the 2 points that you are working with, over the horizontal distance. So the 2 points that we have here is at A and B. How we know the height is by looking at the contour lines that they are attached to. So B is at 70 and A is at 120. So if you were to take 70 from 120, if you were to take 70 from 120, you would have been left with 50. Just a moment. Yes, we do gradient in geo. All right, so if we were to, I'm seeing your comments a little bit late. Just a moment. All right, so someone is asking to explain why it is a scarp slope. Okay, so there are different types of slopes. You have gentle slope, concave slope, convex slope, dip. When it is a scarp slope, they are close together, but not extremely close together for it to be too difficult to climb. So it is not like a cliff that you are looking at. But when you look at the entire diagram, it would have been your steeper section of the slope. So based on the spacing of the contour lines on both sides here, this section is relatively steep based on how close they are, but this section, the contour lines are wider. So because the contour lines are wider, it would have been a gentler climb for you. So it is the gentler side of the slope. So the steeper side would have been your scarp slope. For the convex slope now, for a lot of these are not done at your grade 10 and grade 11. They would have been done at maybe lower school. When you do geography in lower school, they would have been done there. But the background information is necessary for you to answer questions like these at 10 and 11. So the convex slope is basically the slope that is going to give you like a curved terrain. So It is easy to climb, not very, very easy to climb as in a piece of flat land. It is easy to climb, but it goes up high very quickly, just the same. So that would have been your convex slope. And the concave slope now, this one, it sort of gives you a small dip. It is it is rounded more towards the inside. So it gives you a smaller dip. So you are able to climb it just the same, but it is not as steep as a side of a triangle. It would give you a small sink as you're walking up it. Whereas the convex slope, it would be giving you an outward curve. So it would give you a rise while you're walking up it. For the scarp, that is just the steeper section of your slope. Somebody's asking for an example of a convex slope. I can't really give you an example of a convex slope. It's more of the shape of it. What I can do, I can send you a picture in the geography online community group that we have. I can send you a picture of it there so that you can actually see what each one would look like. I think if you do probably bio, I'm not sure, one of them, but either bio or integrated science, when they're doing the topic relating to contact lenses or something relating to that, or how your eye works, um, it is similar for convex and concave. It's the same way that it would look. Okay. Um, so that is why we have B for number 9. Number 10, the approximate gradient of the line AB is. So for gradient, as we were saying, we are going to be looking at the difference between the 2 points first. For the height, you have 70 here and then you have 120. So your difference between these 2 points would have been 50. Once you have your difference in height, then you need to look at your horizontal distance. That is how far it takes you, how far you need to go from one point to the next point that they have given you. So in order to tell the distance on a map, you need to measure the straight line distance using a strip of paper. So you measure your straight line distance. Here, mark it off, place it on your scale here, and then you would have gotten your response. Once you have that, you would end up with a fraction, and then you divide out your fraction, and you end up with 1 to something for your ratio. So I'm seeing people saying 1 in 4p. All right, maybe that means 40. And then somebody else saying 10 is D. And then somebody else saying 1 in 40. So the answer is C. Let me just calculate it right now. It is actually going to be C. Your answer is 1 in 40. When you measure from A to B here and you place it along here, you would have gotten 2 kilometers. And the measurement on your map is in meters. So you convert the 2 kilometers to meters. That would give you 2,000 meters. And then you have your 50. You do your calculations, 50 into the 2,000 meters. Then you would end up with 1 in 40 for your answer. So that would have been letter C for number 10. All right. So Rohan got it right. Haven got it right. Yeah. So we're at number 11 now. Items 11 to 12 refer to the following map extract of the Black River area in Jamaica. On the map extract, the feature labeled X, and it gives you the six-figure grid reference for X so that it's easier for you to find, is A. So here we are, X. We saw this question again. You can remind me of the past paper that we saw it on. I can't remember, but we saw this question before. From doing a lot of them, though, you do realize that a lot of the questions repeat. So here we have X. If we notice, X is showing us a specific point. It's showing us that specific point where we have that smaller river that is joining the larger river there. That's exactly what it is showing us, right? So if you notice, X is here, but there is an arrow pointing to this specific area here where we have our smaller river that is joining our main river. So when you have a small river that's joining your main river, that specific section is called your confluence. So for number 11, your answer is going to be letter A. So I'm seeing Haven correct, Dookie correct, Walrond, Jaunty, Liverpool, Rohan correct as well. Very good job, guys. We're moving to number 12. General direction of flow of the Black River is. So let us look at the map to find the flow of the Black River. To determine the flow of a river, you would look at where the river ends or where the river starts. It may be difficult to figure out exactly where the river is starting, but usually it is extremely easy for you to see where the river ends. So we know that the river ends in a larger body of water, so that could be your sea or a large lake or something. So in order to tell, we look at the map here. We're seeing that our river ends here. This is where the deposition is taking place. So we need to look to see where the river is heading from, right? So if we are saying from, I think it said what is the general direction. Let me just double check. Right. The general direction of flow of the Black River is. So we know that it is flowing towards this section, towards the south, and then over this side would have been towards the west. So that we only have one of that option there, south, southwest. So the direction of flow is towards the south, southwest. So our answer for number 12 would have been letter D. All right, so Dookie has it right. Liverpool has it right. Haven has it right, and Jaunty has it right as well. Let us move to number 13. Items 13 to 15 refer to the following graph, which shows the percentage of total population employed in agriculture in 1950 and 2000 in some Caribbean territories. So this is another familiar question. What country has the largest percentage decline in people employed in agriculture? So we're looking for the largest decline. All of this is already in percentage. And this is 1950 just shaded and 2000 shaded with stripes. So we're looking for the largest decline. So we're seeing Dominica looks pretty big from here to here. Guadeloupe is very big as well. So we're looking for the one that has the largest decline. In order to tell it and not just estimate, we can look at the specific numbers that they have. So this is look like about 73, and then this looks like probably about 18. So let's just look at the options that they gave us. So they gave us Haiti, which is between here and here. They gave us Martinique here and here. So Martinique is say 48, not a lot. And then we have Dominican Republic and Trinidad and Tobago. So Trinidad is not a large decline either. Dominican Republic, a lot larger. So our answer for 13 would have been letter C, which is Dominican Republic with the largest decline. All right, so I'm seeing, yeah, good job. Rohan C, Duki, Liverpool, Stewart. Keisha Stewart is new. Hello, Keisha. Welcome. And O'Neill as well. John T, Haven, Caleb, and Khan. Good job, guys. So we have it correct for number 13. The answer is C and Richardson as well. So number 14. In 2000, the country with the lowest percentage of people employed in agriculture was, so the lowest percentage of people employed in agriculture, we have Barbados, Martinique, Puerto Rico, and Guadeloupe. And that is in the year 2000. So we are only looking at the ones that are shaded with the stripes. So Guadeloupe looks very, very small. Lowest percentage employed in agriculture. Let's look at the others. Martinique. So Guadeloupe would have been smaller than Martinique. And Barbados, Guadeloupe is still smaller. And the final one is Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico looks like the smallest. And the question did say the country with the lowest percentage of persons employed in agriculture in that year. So for 14, our answer is going to be letter C. Hi, Keisha. Yes, Rohan got it right. Liverpool, John T, Ducky, Haven, Richardson, and O'Neill. Good job. All right. 15. In which countries did employment in agriculture decline by more than 40% of the total population over the period? So again, in which countries did employment in agriculture decline by more than 40% over the period? So we're looking for a big decline. Haiti, Guadeloupe, and Puerto Rico. Let's look at those first. Haiti, that doesn't look like 40%. Guadeloupe, all right. Dominican Republic, Guadeloupe, and Haiti. Haiti is not 40%, so we can take that one out as well. Dominican Republic, Jamaica, and Martinique. So Jamaica, a little below 50, yeah. Martinique and Dominican Republic. Seems like C is our answer. Let us just look at D, Dominican Republic, Guadeloupe, and Martinique. Dominican Republic, Guadeloupe, and Martinique. So decline by more than 40%. Our answer is actually letter D. So it's Dominica, Guadeloupe, and Martinique. We can double check that. Dominica, we can see the decline. Hold on. Yeah, we can see the decline in Dominica. Guadeloupe, we're seeing that large decline as well, and Martinique. So our answer for number 15 would have been letter D. All right, so I see a couple people getting it right as well. So Chelsea, Rohan, Ducky, Haven, O'Neill, Richardson, and a new person. Hello, new person. Ageless, it looks like. Welcome. And Caleb also got it right. So we are at number 16 now. Good job. You are all getting them correct and your answers are coming in a whole lot faster. So to me, that means you are a whole lot more ready for your exams. I think you're going to do great. You have what, 14 days left for your exams? Don't be nervous. You'll be fine. You'll be perfectly fine. You can tell me how the exam goes after. So we're on to number 16. Pay attention as well that since we've started the paper, We're at the 16th question, and everything that you're doing is practical skills, just the same. So you're just doing a whole bunch of practical skills first, and then you will see how the other questions transcend. So item 16, the shaded area on the map is best described as the tropics, Arctic zone, Mediterranean, or the temperate zone. So we're seeing our 0-degree equator here, and it goes up to 0 to 23.5 degrees north and south of the equator. So I'm already seeing Chelsea, Liverpool giving us 16 as letter A, which is correct. Haven getting it correct as well. Haven. So that is the tropics, our tropical area here, which is 23.5 degrees north and south of the equator. That is for number 16. Number 17, which of the following statements about lines of latitudes is true? They meet at the poles. Do lines of latitude go to the poles? No, they do not. So A would have been out. They are all great circles for lines of latitude. No, they are not. There is only one great circle that is a line of latitude, and that is the 0-degree line. They represent angular distance from the prime meridian. No, prime meridian and latitude do not go together. They represent the angular distance north and south of the equator. So the answer for number 17 would have been letter D. Let us see. Vedish, Duki, Haven, Walrond, Liverpool, O'Neill, Ageless. And Rohan is explaining no lines of latitude, I remember, is lateral. Good job. Nice. High five. So 17 is letter D. Number 18. 18 and 19 refer to the following graphs which show rainfall conditions 1, 2, 3, and 4. Under which of the conditions would the flow of a river vary most from season to season? Let me try to zoom out so you can look at them all at once, as well as the question. All right, so under which of the conditions would the flow of a river vary most from season to season? So looking at one, we're seeing that there's absolutely no rainfall here, and then we are having rainfall, and then it reduces again. So that would mean that for our river, we would not have much flow going on here, and then we would have heavy flow because a lot of rain came, and then it would reduce almost back to nothing. For 2, we have rainfall throughout the entire year, so the river would have enough water, or basically about the same amount of water. It's fluctuating a little, so that one would have been out. Vary the most here, we have rainfall, but it reduces gradually, a small amount of rainfall. So there's still some rain, and then it increases again. So remember the question says, which of the following conditions the flow of the river would vary most? And you notice the word most in bold. Remember I told you about those words in bold that you have to pay specific attention to. So we have 1 and 2, this and this. So 1 is good, but 2 still has rain throughout the year. We have 1 and 3 for letter B. Yes, it has, in my opinion, the most variation before looking at the other responses. Remember, again, it is important for you to look at all of your responses, even though you may think that you already know the answer. All right. And then 3, 2, and 3. So 2 is already out, and 2 is in letter D as well, so it's also out. So our answer for number 18 is going to be letter B, And I see that everybody is on point. Rohan, Ducky, Haven, Richardson, Caleb, Can, Checkmate, Liverpool, and Ageless. Um, Ageless, let me know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. That's what it looks like. So 19, under which of the conditions is there the greatest variation in rainfall? So the greatest variation in rainfall, we already figured that one out. Let us see. Greatest variation in rainfall. That is going to be one, which is letter A. Greatest variation. So I'm correct. Nice. Okay. So 19 is letter A for our answer. I'm correct with Ageless's name. So Liverpool has it right, O'Neill has it right, and Walrond has it right. Checkmate, Stewart, Ageless again, and Haven. Good job, guys. Number 20. Item 20 to 21 refer to the following map. The features found at T on the map are, we saw this question, we did this question already together, so you can have a pretty good idea of what your questions on your exam are going to look like. So here I see some people answering real quick. We're seeing the sand here, and we use the symbol here to look at the key. We see exactly what it means. The fact that there is sand here suggests that it is a beach, and we are seeing that our beach is basically nestled in between two extensions of rock here, so that would have given us what is called a bay. So we have a bay and a beach, and for number 20, that is letter A. So lots of people, everybody get this right. Everybody. So congrats to everybody. Walron, Miss, if you can explain the options given in each question, why it is not the rest. We're seeing that it is a bay. We can't necessarily say that it is a headland because we're not seeing anything suggesting a cliff. Based on the spacing of these contour lines, it is not suggesting that it is a highland, so we can't say a headland at all. So headland would have been out for B and for C, and the cliff would have been out for letter D. So that is how we end up with A and for bay and beach only. 21. A contour sketch from point R to point X would look like. So we have R to X here. So how you would do this, you would take a strip of paper, place it across here from R to X, and you would mark off where R starts, mark off where X ends, right? Once you have marked that off, your next step is going to be to mark off everywhere where your paper touches a contour line. So you mark off where it starts, mark off here, mark off here, mark off here, mark off here, and here. Once you have marked off all of that, then you are going to write on your paper the height of each of the marks that you just made. So the height is there for all of them. R would have been 40. Then we have 80. So 40, and it stretches from 40 all the way across here to get to 80. So it means that the drawing that you're looking for the contour sketch, you would have seen that they are stretching across. So we can see maybe it's this or maybe it's this just by looking at it without actually drawing it, right? Just because of how it stretches across here. And then at this section, we are seeing that it is almost an even slope on this side. So it is going to be very gentle on this section of the drawing. And we see that it ends at about maybe at about 20 meters above sea level, because this one is at 0. So we see that it ends at about 20 meters above sea level. So they all end at about 20 meters above sea level when we look at them like this. But we are seeing that we have this one here is giving us a very gentle descend, similar to what we would be seeing in our diagram up here. Very, very gentle descend here. So we would conclude just without drawing it, and if you draw it, you would end up with a diagram that looks like this. So we would conclude that our answer for number 21 is letter C. So we are seeing our gentle increase here from 40 all the way up to 80. You can see that it is 80 right there. Then you're seeing a smaller sharp increase. Then it stretches across 120. Then you have a gentle descend on the other side. So our answer for number 21 would have been letter C. So, Liverpool, Walrond, Haven, Ageless, Richardson, Can, and O'Neill. All right, good job, guys. So we are now at number 22. For the persons who are just joining us, or you're joining us for the first time, ensure that you subscribe to the channel so you can see each time we're doing a live or when we post other videos that will assist you with your CSEC exams. Also, there is a Discord geography group that we have. You can post your questions in there. If I'm not available to answer, another student from somewhere in the Caribbean will answer you, or another teacher from somewhere will answer you. So you can have your geography discussions there as well. Somebody can drop the link in the chat, or it is on my Instagram page, which is Natken Educational Services, just the same. It is in the bio. You can check that out as well so that you get to be a part of it. 22. Item 22 to 23 refer to the following rainfall and temperature graph. Annual range of temperature is approximately. So again, we saw this question several times, right? Range of temperature, range means in between. So we are looking at highest to lowest, and then we subtract. So temperature is being shown on the line graph here, while rainfall is being shown on the bar graph at the bottom, right? The line graph is red for temperature in degrees Celsius. It is on this side. Our highest point here looks like about 23-ish, 23. And then this one looks like 10, 11. So what we would do, we would subtract 11 from 23. We would end up with 12 as our range. So our answer for number 22 would have been letter B. Let's see. 22. All right, so Arthur's, Dookie, Walrond, Rohan, O'Neill, Haven. Yes, Vedish, we will put up some more of the answer keys on the blog so that you will be able to look at them after. The specimen papers are there as well, so you will be able to compare or do some work on your own as well. So for 22, our answer is letter B. Moving on to 23, which of the following statements is true? I will zoom out so you can see both of them. The hottest months of the year are also the driest. So the hottest would have been in terms of temperature. How high it is. So the hottest months would have been the ones with the highest temperature. So we're looking at January, February area there, March. It says hottest months of the year are also the driest. So that is suggesting that the months that are hot would have less rainfall. Um, B, the hottest months of the year are also the wettest. We are not seeing where the hottest months are giving us a lot of rainfall. C, there is little variation in rainfall throughout the year. We are seeing variation in rainfall. D, there's little variation in temperature throughout the year. So we are seeing variation in temperature as well. So our answer for number 23 would have been letter A. And again, everyone is getting it right. Good job, guys. Beautiful. Number 24. Item 24 refers to the following population density map of Trinidad. We have some Trinidad people. Well, usually we have some Trinidad people in here. If you are from Trinidad, you can just say hello to everyone else that is from other areas in the Caribbean. So 24, which of the following statement is true according to the population density map of Trinidad? So, population density map, the darker areas will show you that there are more persons per square mile in that area. So the dark one here, black actually, it is over 1,100 persons per square kilometer. And the lines going across 561 to 1100, and the squares like these 350 to 560, etc. So you would just need to look at the key in order to figure out what is going on. All right. So, which of the following statement is true? The West has the lowest population. Let us look at the West. Over here, it is saying that it has the lowest population, which is not true because much of we're seeing a lot of or people on this side. The southwest is sparsely populated, so that would have been south towards the west. They're saying that it is sparsely populated. Sparse would mean that you have very small amount of persons. We can determine that after based on the other responses. C, the center has the highest population. We're not seeing that any at all. Or D, the northwest is densely populated. So this is the north, and this would have been towards the west. So the northwest is densely populated. So for 24, it would have been letter D for our answer. All right. So I am seeing big up the Trini crew. Okay, lots of Trini people. That's nice. 24D, everybody's getting D. Good job. Can someone from Trinidad tell us why is it that we do not have a lot of people living here? Do you have a mountain there or something for those of us who have never been? Or do you have a mountain at this section? Why is it that we don't have a lot of people living in these areas? Hi, Ashelon. Welcome. So we are at number 25. We're at number 25. Item 25 refers to the following block diagram, which shows the wave patterns of an earthquake. Which of the points in the diagram represents the focus? So we are seeing wave fronts, we are seeing our fault, and we are seeing this point at Y, we are seeing this point at X, we are seeing this point at W, and we are seeing this point at Z. So which of the points in the diagram represents the focus? So our answer for this one is going to be letter Y here, which is our focus. This is exactly the point where our earthquake starts. And the exact point where our earthquake is felt on the ground would have been directly above this on the Earth's surface, which would have been our epicenter. Another name for focus, I'm going to ask for somebody to just drop that in the chat section. What's another name for focus that we can possibly see on our exam? That could even be a multiple choice question that you can actually see. Okay, so for 25, our answer is letter C. 26, wait, 25, we have Vadish getting it right, O'Neill getting it right, Walrun getting it right, Ashelon, Vortex Craft, Christine Richardson, Jamelia Caleb, and Haven getting it right and asking everyone to subscribe. Thank you, Haven. All right, number 26. Which of the following, I'm still waiting for somebody to tell me the other word for focus. 26, which of the following statements is not true of all volcanoes? We saw this question again on maybe one of the older papers. So this question has been coming up for maybe 2001 to maybe 19 years. So this is something that you want to pay attention to. So 26, which of the following statement is not true of all volcanoes? A, their eruptions are violent. Are all volcanic eruptions violent? B, they occur in areas of crustal weakness. That is correct. C, their cones are made of ejected material. That is correct. D, various gases are emitted during eruption. That is correct as well. So our answer for number 26 is going to be letter A. So we do have two types of lava. We have basic lava and we have acidic lava. We know that acidic lava is a lot more explosive. So the acidic lava will have violent eruptions because it cools so quickly and it hardens, and because of the makeup of it, right? The basic lava, it's a lot more runny. So as a result of that, as well as the makeup of it, it does not react very violently. So it may just flow over and just keep running without all the violence that is involved in some of the other volcanoes. So for 26, our answer is letter A. That's all right, O'Neill, as long as you understand why we are choosing A as the answer, and you will not pick the correct one in the future. Pick the incorrect one in the future. 27. When magma emerges on the surface, it may lead to the formation of A, sills, B, dikes, C, laccolith, D, lava flows. So we saw this question already as well. It says magma when it emerges on the surface. So it means that we're looking for a surface feature, not an underground feature or not an intrusive feature. So intrusive volcanic features are those features that are formed once the magma cools and hardens underneath the Earth's surface. Extrusive volcanic features, just like the word suggests, extrusive, meaning outside, those are the ones that have cooled and hardened outside or on the Earth's surface. So for 27, we are seeing sills, dikes, laccoliths, and lava flows. Sills, dikes, and laccoliths are all intrusive features. So our only extrusive feature that is there is going to be letter D, which is lava flow. So for 27, our answer is going to be D. All right, good job. So I'm seeing a new person again, Jalicia. I cannot pronounce your last name, but it looks pretty. So welcome, Jalicia. All right, and Keisha got it right. Rohan is saying Miss 25, another name is called the focal point. No, that's not what I'm looking for. It starts with the letter H. What's the other word for the focus in the anatomy of an earthquake? It starts with the letter H. So somebody, I'm still waiting for you to give me that answer. Um, 28. Potholes will tend to form on the bed of a river. Potholes will tend to form on the bed of a river if the river has A. Low volume and flows over a steep gradient. B. High volume and flows over a steep gradient. C. Low volume and flows over a gentle gradient. Or D. High volume and flows over a gentle gradient. So we spoke already about what volume means. Hello, Camille, Nero. Welcome. Please ensure that you subscribe to the channel as well. What does volume mean? If we're talking about volume, we're talking about the amount of water that is in our river. So when we say low volume, it means that we have a small amount of water. And when we talk about gradient, we're talking about the steepness. We're talking about the steepness of a slope. So let's look at them again. Potholes will tend to form on the bed of a river if the river has, and then, I see Isaiah Williams, which is also a new person, saying hypocenter. Good job, Isaiah, and welcome. So we are at 28. Sorry, I got a little distracted. 28, right. So for potholes, I think I did an entire long talking on potholes before. I would have preferred to draw it to show you. It would have been a lot easier, but we had to just talk it out. So we spoke about potholes before. We spoke about exactly how they would have been formed, how they would have been created, and where in the river profile we would generally see it. So for potholes to happen, you would need to have a lot of water because it is the water that is going to be swirling around the other smaller material that is causing the erosion to take place. Okay. Um, so we are taking out anything that has low volume. So we would have taken out letter A, which has low volume, and we would have taken out letter C, which has low volume. So we have letter B and letter D left, which says high volume and flows over a steep gradient, or letter D, which says high volume and flows over a gentle gradient. So when we think about rivers as well, when we talk about a gentle gradient, we know that on a gentle gradient, a lot of the times, majority of the times, it is deposition that is taking place. And when you are over a steep gradient, it is erosion that is taking place because the water has a lot more velocity. It's very speedy, it's fast. As a result of that, you have more erosion taking place. And it is through this erosion where the potholes would have been formed. So our answer for number 28 would have been letter B. Let me see what's happening. We have Isaiah getting it right, Caleb getting it right, Walron getting it right, and Vidish answering number 29, which we are going to go to. Good job, everyone. So, number 29, as one climbs a mountain, the surrounding temperature decreases, right? The higher you go, the cooler it gets. I asked this question some time ago when we did one exactly like this. I asked by how many degrees would it decrease if you're going up by 1,000 meters? And somebody gave me the response. If you remember, just drop it in the chat section so that somebody else can learn just in case they did not know. So we're moving on to number 30. How does the vegetation contribute to the development of soils? Before we get to number 30, let me just point something out to you. Notice that we went from number 1 all the way to number 5 with only practical, all the way to number 25, sorry, with only practical questions. Only practical questions, mostly map work or something where you need to read a graph or a table, etc. So we did 25 questions in total out of the entire 60 that you're going to get had practical skills involved. So now we are on to the questions that do not require that much of us at this point. So we're at number 30. How does vegetation contribute to the development of soils? A, it provides the parent material. B, roots increase the depth of soil. C, it decomposes to form humus. D, it decomposes to produce inorganic matter. So for number 30, our answer is going to be letter C, it decomposes to form humus. So I'm seeing that O'Neill is getting that right. Vadish is asking, Miss, we're going to do two. Oh, no. Initially, the intention was to do two papers, but because we had a little technical difficulty earlier on, the time ran out. We're only going to complete this one paper today, and then we'll try to do another one tomorrow or the other day and so on. But we'll be getting them done in time for your exams. So lots of people getting this correct. Number 30 is letter C. All right, so I'm going to give you a little 5 minutes before we jump into number 31. So we can take a little break. Well, you're already eating and drinking water and all of these things, but I am not. So I'm going to take just 5 minutes and then I will be right back. You don't need to log off or anything. I'll be right back in 5. And I'm seeing a new person. Hello, Anna Mohammed, already giving me 31. All right, Anna, just give me 5 minutes and I'll be right back, okay? All right, I'm back. Are we ready for 31? All right, I'll take it that you're ready. I haven't seen any responses yet, but we can go. 31. The slow downhill movement of debris under the influence of gravity may best be described as. So once you see slow movement, just picture a baby that's creeping super slow, and you will remember soil creep. So landslide is fast, soil erosion is a general thing, and mass wasting is also a general thing. So we are going to choose letter B for number 31. That's our answer. Some people were already telling me B, yes. Uh, where were we? B. Okay. So we have Mohammed, B, ageless, Judah, O'Neill, Jalissa, Rohan, Haven, Deron for real. Hello, Deron. Welcome. Rios. I'll just call you Mitchell. Um, Caleb also getting it right. Good job. So we are on to number 32. Here we go. Item 32 refer to the following diagram. Which of the following weather conditions is not shown in the diagram above? So A, rain shadow on the leeward side. B, frontal rainfall on the mountain top. C, relief rainfall on windward slopes. D, descending dry wind on the leeward slope. On the leeward side, sorry. All right, so what exactly are we seeing in this diagram? Why is somebody saying that they're nervous? Hey, Ven, you're getting all of your questions correct. You'll be fine. You will be fine. So, it said, which of the following weather conditions is not shown in the diagram above? So, are you seeing a rain shadow on the leeward side? First of all, do you know where the leeward side is? The windward side is where the wind is coming from. So, we're seeing the wind here, and as a result of the wind coming in at this direction, the air is going to rise, the hot air is going to rise, it is going to condense closer towards the top of the mountain. You are going to have rainfall at the top of the mountain as well as on the windward side here. However, on the leeward side, which is on this opposite side, you would normally have a rain shadow. But in this specific diagram, we are not seeing the rain shadow. The only thing that we are actually seeing, we are seeing that we are seeing the symbol for the descending dry winds. So for 32, our answer would have been letter A. I'm seeing a lot of persons telling me letter B, frontal rainfall on the mountain top. Yes, we're not seeing a front specifically. We're not seeing a front specifically, but we know that we have our hot air here that is rising and it cools and it meets the cooler air at the top and then it condenses. Why are people nervous though? So, um, if they bring old papers, we do old questions as well. We have been doing the old questions, so you'll be fine. Um, and Vedish is going to faint. Wow. Okay. You'll be fine, guys. So, 32, letter A, rain shadow on the leeward side is actually missing. 33, at the top here, the main difference between weathering and erosion relates to A, the removal of materials. B, the temperature of the materials. Temperature is certainly out. C, moisture content of the rocks. No. D, slope of the land bearing the rocks. So our answer for number 33 would have been letter A, which is the removal of the materials. So weathering is the wearing away of the weathering is the breaking down, sorry. Weathering is the breaking down of the materials. So you can break down the materials and they stay exactly in the same place. Erosion is the wearing away of the material. This wearing away or the moving, this wearing away of the material can be moved. So that is the major difference between the two of them. So for 32, it would for 33, sorry, it would have been letter A. So Haven, Rohan O'Neill, Francisco Williams Mitchell, getting it correct. Miss, but isn't the lack of rainfall on the leeward side a sign of a rain shadow? No, not necessarily. You can have, for you to have the rain shadow, you may see some clouds, but you're not getting the rain. All right. So 34, what is the correct order of the stages in the development of a hurricane? So we have tropical disturbance, storm, depression, and then the hurricane. Then we have for B, tropical depression, disturbance, storm, and then the hurricane. For C, tropical storm, tropical storm, depression, disturbance, and then the hurricane. D, tropical disturbance, depression, storm, and then the hurricane. So for 34, our answer would have been letter D. So it's just a disturbance first, then it is a depression, then the depression turns into a storm, and as the wind speed increases, etc., then the storm would turn into a hurricane. So for 34, it would have been letter D. 35, fold mountains form where crustal plates move up and down towards each other, parallel to each other, or away from each other. So we don't have any up and down movement. B, towards each other, that would have been at a convergent plate margin. So at convergent plate margins, we do see fold mountains, especially if they are two of the same plate types, for example, two continental plates. So our answer for that one would have been letter B, parallel to each other. We would not be seeing any fold mountain there because basically they are not pushing up towards each other to be creating a fold mountain. And D, away from each other, those would have been your divergent plate margins. They don't create the fold mountain either. So for 35, your answer would have been letter B. 36. Hello, Sierra. Welcome. I think it's the first time seeing that name. Thank you for joining us. All right, so we are at number 36. Which of the following phrases defines exfoliation? We've seen this exfoliation question so many times, and then I always break off into talking about when you exfoliate your face and you clean off your face and you take off dead skin cells and all of that. So 36, we already have a pretty good idea of what our answer is going to be. So 36, A, peeling off of the outer layer of rocks. Um, B, splitting of rocks into rectangular blocks. C, movement of rocks due to the action of rivers. D, disintegration of rocks by root penetration into crevices. So our answer for number 36 would have been letter A, which is the peeling off of the outer layers of the rocks. Good, so everybody's getting that right. I don't know, Vidish. She's asking how CSEC set their multiple choice questions. I really am not sure. But the fact that they are repeating so many, maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe they just have a database that they pull from. No idea. So 37. Item 37 refers to the following diagram, and we have seen this one quite a few times as well. In the diagram, X represents A, percolation, B, evaporation, C, transpiration, or D, precipitation. So percolation is when the water is actually going down into the Earth's surface. B, for evaporation, is when the water is going up. C, transpiration is when it's going up from plants, and then precipitation would have been your rainfall in this specific case. So our answer for number 37 is going to be letter A. So I'm seeing everybody has A correct. Team unknown, Mitchell, O'Neill, Veronique. Nice to meet you, Veronique. New name. Vortex Craft, Vedisha Rohan, Ashelon, Jamelia, Ageless, Sierra, and Lau or Low, Chevony Low. Okay, good job, guys. So we're at number 38. This question, I think this was on the Instagram page as well, where we had asked it. The dotted line represents. So the dotted line is the line here, and we explained it as well. We were talking about basins, and we're talking about which Caribbean countries, what they call the pans that they probably wash in or something, and we all said we call it basins. So yeah, do we remember this one? I hope you can remember those things while you're in the exam. You'll remember the actual conversations that we were having. So for 38, based on the basins that we were talking about, what would have been your answer for number 38? Yes, I'm seeing the answers correct. So Haven has gotten it right. Hello again, Veronique. Vadish has gotten it right. Mitchell got it right. O'Neill, Mohammed, and Keisha Stewart. So yes, that is our watershed. So 38 is letter C for the answer. Number 39. Which of the following statements may explain why some areas in Caribbean territories are sparsely settled? Right. Remember when we were looking at the Trinidad map a little earlier, and I asked the Trini people, why is it that over these sections we're not seeing a lot of persons settling there? And automatically I assumed that I was asking if it's a mountain or something. So we can use those little things in our brain to help us figure out the answers for our questions. So, which of the following statement may explain why some areas in the Caribbean are sparsely settled? One, they are hilly and forested. Two, they have no mineral resources. Three, transport links are generally poor. So I'm seeing, hold on. All right, so Haven says she remembers the basin. That's good. Veronique says C because it's a separation. O'Neill, that question was in the 2019 paper. Caleb got it right. I would carry. Oh. Okay, Vedish. All right, so we are at number 39 and we're looking at the responses. So I'm seeing some people saying B already. Let us look at them. B is 1 and 3. Let us look at them. So, 1, they are hilly and forested. 2, they have no mineral resources. 3, transport links are generally poor. All right, so if a place is hilly and forested, you will have a lot less people living there because they need that communication line between them and the other areas. And it is difficult to be living or settling or building on hilly areas or areas that are forested. So 1 would certainly be in your answer. So that would have been A, B, or D. Then we have 2, they have no mineral resources. So there can be areas where there are no mineral resources, but you still have several persons settling there. So 2 would have been out. 3, transport links are generally poor. Right, that's another thing that is extremely important. That's another thing that's extremely important for persons to have in order for them to settle in an area, for a lot of them to settle in an area so that you have connection to the other areas that are surrounding or elsewhere. So our answer for this one would have been 1 and 3, so that would have been letter B. Um, so I'm seeing some B and I'm seeing some D, but not where. Okay. All right. So why it would not be D now is because we took out number two. They have no mineral resources. Just think about where you live currently, wherever that is, whatever country you're in, whatever community you're in. Does that place have mineral resources? That place may not have any mineral resources, but you're still living there. And is it sparsely settled? You probably have a neighbor beside you, behind you, in front of you. I'm just giving examples. But there are several areas where settlement is dense. You have a lot of persons living there in that specific area, but that area does not have many mineral resources. So, as a result of that, we would have taken that one out and we would be left with 1 and 3. Okay, so our answer for that would have been letter B, which is 1 and 3. Vedish, you should listen to your teacher. It is okay to ask your teacher questions or ask your teacher to explain why they got that answer or how they got that answer. And then you have a nice little discussion so you can figure things out together. Okay? So we are at number 40. Which of the following conditions is not likely to result from setting up secondary industries in the Caribbean? So, secondary industry, that's your manufacturing industry. Which of the following conditions is not likely to result after you set up employment opportunities? Let me know if you're hearing me. All right, hold on. Let me know if you're hearing me. I think I had a small disconnection a while ago. Okay, so you're hearing. Cool. All right, so for 40, um, yeah, so we were saying that you would have a lot of things to other countries to sell them. Um, you'd have a lot of jobs, a lot more jobs would have been created, and the reduction in the importation of consumer goods. So if you are now making your own stuff in your own country, it means that you may reduce the amount of goods that you take from other countries. So the odd one out basically would have been reduced cost of living. It does not reduce your cost of living. So for 40, our answer is going to be letter B. So let us see. Veronique got that. Checkmate, Vortex, Rohan, Cheyenne B. Hello, Cheyenne. Welcome. I think it's the first time I'm seeing that name as well. Caleb got it right as well, and Stuart, and Haven, and Mitchell. Okay, we're all on point. Good job. And Ashelon is laughing, and Francisco says B. All right. So we're at 41. Rapid urbanization in Caribbean countries usually results in. So urbanization means that, well, once you look at the word and you see urban, it means relating to the city. So you will have a lot more, a lot more persons living in the city areas, right? So, um, rapid urbanization in Caribbean countries results in housing shortages in the cities. We know that's a thing that's always in the cities, right? Increased employment in the cities. No, you would not have increased employment because if you have more persons coming in, then that does not mean that it's increasing employment. Decreased foreign exchange earnings, not necessarily. Improvement in the standard of living. No, not necessarily either. So for 41, we would choose letter A as our response. Rapid urbanization in the Caribbean countries results in housing shortages in the cities. So 41 is letter A. We have Vedish getting it right. Um, Francisco, let me know if you understand it now. Lo getting it right. Mitchell, Caleb, Haven, Letlow, Cheyenne, Keisha, and Vortex. Good job. So that is 41. We're moving on to 42. 42, all right, look at this diagram here. 42 to 43 refers to the following sketch map. Which of the following features best explain the location of the urban center in the sketch map? So, best explain the location of the urban center. So we're seeing the urban center based on the key here. We can see that the urban center is right here. If we're explaining the location of the urban center, you're basically asking why is it that the urban center is located here? So one, the presence of the flat land. Two, the nearness to the mountains. Three, the presence of a natural harbor. So if you are building a little city, that little game that, well, I don't know if you play it, but sometimes people play it, I play it. The Sims or Little Big City, when you are building a city from scratch, is it important for you to put your city beside a mountain? No, not necessarily, but it is important for you to put your city close to flatland. You want to put your city close to flatland, it means you have more area to work with. It means that you can build roads easily, things can drive around, you can carry things from one place to the next, etc. Also, you want to have your city close to a natural harbor. If you're close to a natural harbor, it means that you can do import export with other countries or other places. You can have access to you can develop a fishing industry, all of that. So it would have been 1 and 3. So our answer for 42 would have been letter B. And everybody is on point for letter B for 42. You are all getting it correct. Congratulations, guys. It seems like we're all ready for our exams. 43. In which direction is the town most likely to expand? East, west, north, or south? So let's look back at the map. This is our town here. What direction would it expand? Would it expand to the north, which is where we're seeing our mountain? Would it expand to the south, which would be inside the water? Would it expand to the east, which would be closer to more roadway and we're seeing some buildings out here? Or would we expand it into the swamp? So let us see. It looks to me like we would put it towards the east. So our answer for that would have been letter A for 43. And Rohan is right, Haven, Mitchell, and Francisco is getting it right. Very nice. Very good job, guys. You should really clap yourselves. There is just so much growth here. I'm seeing a lot of improvement. I'm really impressed. And it could also be that, there's a lot of repetition in the questions or we're just understanding. So that's great. Good job. So 43 is letter A. 44. Which of the following factors is the most important in the location of primary industries? So, primary industries, those are what you call your extractive industries. It means you are getting your materials from the natural resource of the land itself. So, which of the following factor is the most important in the location of primary industries? In other words, where would you set up? Where would you put it? So, is it labor? Is it power? Is it transportation? Or is it your raw material? It would be raw material. The fact that you are getting your materials directly from the natural resources of the environment for it to be a primary industry, the most important factor for you in terms of location would have been where you're getting your raw materials from. So for 44, it would have been letter D. Let's see, Liverpool, Ashelon, Neil, Haven, Hausen, Letlow, Stewart, Mitt. All right, everybody bright. That's nice. Beautiful. So 44, it would have been D, which is raw materials. 45, algae nourished by waters enriched with nutrients grow in abundance over the corals, causing them to die. The situation described above can result from oil pollution, fishing and dynamite, dredging and mining, or from sewage discharge. So, for this one, it is the overgrowth of algae that we're talking about. It means that it must be something specific that is causing it to overgrow. And that thing would have been in the sewage. So for 45, our answer would have been letter D. All right, lots of people getting letter D right as well. You're doing very well, guys. Good job. 46. Which of the following features exert the greatest influence on tourism in the Caribbean? So, A, climate, B, carnivals, C, coral reef, D, tropical forest. I don't want the Trini people to tell me carnival because that would be for Trinidad alone. Well, kind of, not really, but kind of. But our answer is not carnival. Our answer is actually climate. So I know some persons may also be thinking, well, a lot of tourists come for coral reef, but notice again they have the word greatest in bold. So that's the one that has the greatest influence. And bear in mind that the coral reef and the tropical forest are all as a result of the climate that we have. So our answer for 46 would have been climate. So let us move on to 47. 47 refers to the following diagram, which shows 4 locations labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're seeing 1 right here near to the railway. We're seeing 2 here. That looks like a road. And then where's 3? 3 here looks mountainish. And 4 at the bauxite reserves. All right. That's right, Rohan. They are looking for the greatest one. So, based on the diagram, at which of the locations is an urban center most likely to be found? So, we just spoke a little bit about urbanization and if we're building our own little city, where we would put things. So, where exactly would we want to put an urban center if we were the ones in charge of this land here? So, would we put it at 1 where the railway is, that little intersection right here? Railway and right beside the bauxite plant. Would we, at the bauxite reserve, sorry, would we put it at 2 where we have the connection of the road? We have some flat land in the middle here. We have access to the sea and we also have access to the railway. Or would we put it at 3 up in the mountain here? Or would we put it at 4 right in the bauxite reserve? So without a doubt, we would put it at letter B, that is 2, because we have all of this land to work with. We have a little port that we can work with here. We have access to the road. We have access to the railway, etc. So we would be getting a lot out of putting it at B. So 47 is letter B. 48. Which of the following conditions is not a problem affecting industrial development in the Caribbean? So, industrial development, no. That is like your secondary industry. That's your manufacturing and stuff. Which of the following conditions is not a problem that is affecting them? A, the size of the market. B, the availability of capital. C, the size of the labor force. Or D, the quantity of raw materials. So, we're looking at the one that is not a problem. Size of market is they usually have issues there. Availability of capital, everybody always want more money to do what they're doing. Size of the labor force. You will always have people who want work. So you will have enough people to do the work for you. That is not usually a problem. So the question has not in bold, which is not a problem. So for 48, our answer is letter C. And we're on point again. Rohan, Liverpool, Housen, Francisco O'Neill, Haven, and Mitchell. Good job. 49. Which of the following circumstances are challenges to peasant farmers in the Caribbean? So, peasant farmers, we are looking at our small farmers there. Which of the following are challenges for them? Lack of capital, meaning they don't have any funds to do anything on their farm that they'd like to do. Lack of crop variety, or soil erosion. So, for these peasant farmers, let's think about what it is that they do or some characteristics of peasant farming. The peasant farmers, they are small scale farmers. They don't usually have much money to do their farming. Also, they usually grow a lot of crops. Um, but the type of land that they have is usually not very fertile. Sometimes it is on a hillside because that is what they can get. So, with that in mind, we would have said that the challenge, which are the following are challenges. Challenge is the lack of capital and soil erosion. They don't lack crop variety because they grow so many different things. So it is 1 and 3, and that would have given us letter B in our responses. So we have Liverpool, Cadu. Hello, Cadu. Cheyenne, Rohan, Stuart, Mitchell, Vortex, Lil Nate. Welcome, Lil Nate. You're new to us, I think. Tyrone Housen, Jamelia, Caleb, Letlow, Francisco Haven. Everybody getting it right. Good job. Give yourselves a pat on the shoulder. Yeah. 50. The total output from peasant farmers is often low because A, only one crop is grown. We know that's not true. B, holdings are very small. C, farmers grow mainly food crops. D, plots are located in remote areas. So the total output, when we say total output, we're talking about what it is that they are left with after they go put in all of the work and do all of the farming, right? So for 50, let's look at it again. That one is out. A is out. Holdings are very small. Farmers grow mainly food crops. It doesn't matter if they grow mainly food crops because we're talking about what they are left with. So, really and truly, it is B. Their holdings are just very small, so they're unable to produce a large output. So, our answer for 50 is letter B. And again, everybody is right on point with their responses. I'm so proud of you guys. Good job. Nice. 51. Which of the following practices may harm the marine environment in the Caribbean? So, 1, zoning of marine activities. Let me know if you know what zoning is. 2, harvesting of coral formations for souvenirs. Um, Harvesting of coral formations. Any form of taking of coral formations is bad, and you are destroying the marine environment. 3, discharging sewage, that is bad as well, like that alone. And industrial waste along the shore, that is very bad. So 2 and 3 are the ones that are very bad for the environment, may harm the marine environment. So we're looking for the response for 2 and 3. That would have been letter C. So 51 would have been letter C, and I'm seeing that correct for everyone. All right, Veronique is asking what are holdings. So I think this is this question. Holdings is basically talking about the the amount that they're left with after they're done. It's like their output, but also considering their farm size that they have. So, because their farm size is so small, they do not end up with a lot when they are done. So, if they had larger farms, then the output that they get from the larger farms, depending on what they plant, would have been a lot more. So, it's just the size of what they are working with. For 51. So yes, for 51, our answer is Letter C, which is 2 and 3 only. Somebody else is asking what is zoning. So zoning is like planning. So you, as a government, for example, you can determine what goes where. So you can plan your marine activities. You may, I don't know, depending on your country, you may see a sign somewhere that says no fishing in this area. Or you may notice that one specific area along your beaches is left just for the public to use. Or you may notice that tourist development or hotel development only takes place at a specific section. That is where the government comes in, where they plan out the entire coastal area in an effort to help the marine environment. So they will tell you what goes where so that it does not harm the marine environment itself. That's what zoning is. So that is why we would leave out zoning, because it is actually a good thing, because it is done with the thought of the marine environment in mind. Very good. So I'm seeing Lil Nate saying zoning is like having authorized areas for certain activities. Very good. I like that. I like that definition. 52. Which of the following situations contributes most to pollution of the environment of capital cities in CARICOM countries? So notice the word most in bold. A, accumulation of garbage from factories. We did see this question as well, and we discussed it to see what exactly our major issue is in the Caribbean, in the cities that we actually live in. So a, accumulation of garbage from factories. We did say that in our cities you don't have a whole lot of factories there. Remember that we're talking about pollution in general in the CARICOM countries as well. Discharge of chemicals in the sea, not a lot is going on now. Discharge of fish waste in the sea. I think somebody from probably Grenada or Guyana, one of the G names, said they have this fish waste, but that was the only country. Discharge of exhaust fumes from motor vehicles. That is our answer. So most of the pollution would be as a result of the exhaust fumes. So we have the fact that it says capital cities. First of all, every capital city, one of the major problems that we see in every single textbook, and you don't even have to have a textbook to see it. Once you look in your city, there's so much traffic congestion. So once you have traffic, it means that the vehicles are at a standstill and they are going to be releasing these fumes. In the capital cities, also, the buildings are close together. Some of the buildings are high rise buildings, so they're also higher. So, as a result of that, then you would have all of this exhaust fume that is just trapped in the city areas. So, air pollution would have been high. So, for 52, it would have been letter D for our answer, which is discharge of exhaust fumes from motor vehicles. Good job, everybody. I see people jumping ahead and going to 53. That is perfectly fine. 53, which of the following is a form of air pollution? So we have smog, oil spill, raw sewage, oxygen depletion. So smog is a combination of smoke and fog. So that's how I remember smog, what it actually means, right? So 53 is letter A for smog. That is a form of air pollution, your smoke and your fog. Oil spill, raw sewage, oxygen depletion, those would have been out. 54. Which of the following practices may help to eliminate problems of pollution created by organic household waste? So it said organic waste, so that will help us to determine what we need to do with it. A, depositing it in the sea, very bad. B, piling up in secluded spots. No, we saw this question on several other papers as well that we have been through. So you can just let me know which paper we saw it on if you remember. C, burying and covering with dirt. That would be the best option here. The fact that it says organic household waste, if you bury it and cover it with dirt, That would be perfectly fine. And D, dumping along watercourses would have been very, very bad as well. So for 54, our answer is letter C. So I'm seeing lots of people with this right, almost, yeah, everybody. Nice. All right. Um, we're seeing some new people as well. For the new persons, please ensure that you subscribe to the channel so that each time we're doing a live, you can get a notification, and then I'll give you a little time so you can jump on with the rest of us. Um, you can also join our geography online learning community where you can just send a picture of your past paper question if you don't know the answer or you want to discuss it, and somebody will assist you with it. Okay, so we're at 55. Harmful gases, liquids, and solids which affect the earth and its inhabitants are examples of. So, harmful gases, liquids, and solids which affect the earth and its inhabitants are examples of. So, we have sediments, we have pollutants, we have solid waste, and we have contaminants. So, this question, I'm assuming it is going to pose a little bit of a challenge for some of us. So, I'm going to ask you what the answer is. So, I know, well, I figure you're going to tell me. No, I won't tell you what you're going to tell me yet, but let's hear it. What is your answer for 55? So, for 55, I am seeing B, 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 B. Everybody telling me B. Nobody thinks it is D. I'm just asking. All right, everybody's saying B. So why would you not say that it is contaminants though? Wouldn't contaminants be harmful gases or liquids or solids which affect the earth? Aren't those also contaminants? All right, so I'm seeing uh Veronique says BRD, Ashelon says nope. Vadish says, I'm positively sure it is B. Darren for real says, I don't know. See, Darren, Darren gets it. Darren does not know. That's cool. So, pollutants and contaminants are often mixed up, but not all contaminants are bad. Pollutants are very bad. So, contaminant is a substance that was introduced by man into the environment. So you can introduce something that's a contaminant, but it is not necessarily harmful. So this word here, this word alone is what is differentiating between your answers B and D. So that is how your answer is B, which is pollutant. So yes, you are all correct. Um, so it is B. Yes, Tamika Miller, it is B. Okay, good job. Number 56. Which of the following features indicates an unhealthy coral reef? A. Brightly colored coral. B. Large number of parrotfish. C. Large variety of species of corals. Or D. Extensive area of bright white corals. So for 56, our answer would have been letter D. That is the extensive area of bright white corals. Um, when they're unhealthy, they would have been bleached. So if it is bleached, you can expect white. So 56, that is how we have B. All right, so I'm seeing Chelsea saying contaminants don't need to be harmful, which is right. Cheyenne, contaminants are just the substances, pollutants are when they actually pose a problem. Very nice. And now I'm seeing a lot of persons saying 56 is letter D. So Lil Nate Francisco Haven, Mitchell Green. Wall Run, check it again. Yes, Lil Nate, you are correct. So Cheyenne B also has letter D. So once the corals are brightly colored and looking very pretty, and all the tourists want to see them, once they're brightly colored, you will have more organisms there. So you will have your parrotfish, you will have different types of species of corals, different types of species of marine organisms. Then you know that something healthy is happening. If you have extensive area of just bright white coral, it kind of looks like dead bones, then you would know that it is unhealthy. All right, so we are at 57 to 58, and we are going to be the following diagram showing a series of consequences from tropical depression. So we saw this question already as well. All right, guys, if you are on the live stream, remember to subscribe to the channel so we can make things easier for all of us. There is a geography discussion group that you can join as well and ask your questions. That is on Discourse. The link is on my Instagram page in my bio, or somebody else can just drop it in the group, or if you're in another group with somebody else, just share it in there so they have an idea of where to find it. So if you have some questions, somebody will answer you, just send it in there, and then if I don't answer, someone else will, etc. Okay? So 57, which of the following consequence best represents X? So remember that we're looking at consequences. So we have tropical depression. No. Tropical deforestation here. So we're cutting down the trees. After we have cut down the trees, we have great overland flow. So we have that all amount of water that is flowing over the land. Then we would have had X, and then now X would have led to soil erosion. So remember that it is the consequences. So the great overland flow would have not led to reduced rainfall. It doesn't affect rainfall any at all. The great overland flow would not decrease the canopy. Remember that the canopy is relating to vegetation, the top section of the vegetation there, so it would not decrease the canopy. Great overland flow, yes, it would reduce soil fertility, but soil fertility would come after here. So our answer for this one would have been flooding. That great overland flow would give us some flooding, and then the flooding would have taken the soil with it, and then after that, that would reduce the soil fertility, etc. Okay, so for 57, our answer is letter A, and almost everybody has letter A. Some persons don't. So let me know now if you understand why we are going with letter A. I'm seeing some people with letter D. So you can let me know if you understand why we are working with letter A. Most persons have letter A. Welcome, Desmond, the intro boss. Okay, welcome. Ensure that you subscribe to the channel as well. So most persons are at 58 now. All right, so somebody's okay, you understand 57. Good job. So we're moving on to 58. What other consequence can result from tropical deforestation? So tropical deforestation can lead to lumbering, is that it? Or does it lead to loss of flora? We saw this question as well. Flora is talking about the plants. Fauna is talking about the animals. So tropical depression means that you're cutting down the trees. That means you are losing flora, which would have been the plant section. Increase in fauna. It can't be an increase in fauna either, because when you cut down the trees, you are removing the habitat of the fauna. So you're removing the habitat of the animals and the insects, etc. So what you would have actually been doing is decreasing fauna. And you do not increase the underground water, because remember that the trees would assist in using their roots to let the water flow through the soil. So for 58, our answer would have been letter B, which is loss of flora. Very good, guys. Yes, everybody got that one correct. Very nice. 59. Flooding can be prevented by 1. Planting vegetation, 2. Creating reserves for trees, 3. Clearing vegetation on slopes. All right, so we can prevent flooding when we plant vegetation, creating reserves for trees, but not when we clear vegetation on the slopes. So, if we clear vegetation, remember that trees assist in breaking up the raindrops, etc. And all of this will assist in the amount of water that can actually flow through the soil rather than just run off the land. And it is the quick runoff of the land that is what is going to be giving us the flooding. Because if it was going to be seeping through, then the underground water would have been getting that rather than just running off the land. So for 59, we have 1 and 2. So our answer for 59 would have been letter A. All right. So yeah, we all have letter A correct. I see a lot of people jump into 60 because we're bright. We're brilliant people. Very nice. So we're at 59. We just finished that. We're at 60 now. Good job, Miss. Oh no. Charles Green, I am so sorry. Hello, Charles Green. It's the first time seeing your name. Welcome. I'm so sorry. I don't see a name. I do not see it. Oh, he's lying. Hi, Charles Green. Charles Green got 59 correct. Good job. All right, so we're at number 60. For number 60, which of the following actions can be used to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases? 1. Increase the use of chlorofluorocarbons. 2. Increase the use of solar power. 3. Reduction in the use of fossil fuel. So we know that chlorofluorocarbons are bad, so we cannot increase their use. So we know solar power is good, so we can increase that use, and we know fossil fuel can be bad, so we need to reduce that as well. So it is 2 and 3, which would have been our answers. So for 60, it is letter C. So let me just make sure that I get everyone this time. 60. Kadu got it right. Haven, Mitchell, Hausen, Letlow, Stuart O'Neill, Francisco. O'Neill, I like your name, by the way. O'Neill, Francisco, Walrond, Cheyenne, Vedish, Tyrone, Charles Green, you got it right. Isaiah got it right. Caleb got it right. And Kraft got it right. Good job. So, Hausen said that I, which is 1, is dangerous. Yes, chlorofluorocarbons are bad. So, Chelsea got it right as well. Desmond, the intro boss, got it right. And Tamika Miller. So, guys, that takes us to the end of another live stream. The original plan was to do 2 past papers. I was going to do 2005 and 2015. So, we're 10 years apart. But time caught up on us because we had some technical difficulties. So we're just going to do the one for today. And then we can look forward to tomorrow evening just the same. I will be at work tomorrow, so it would have been later in the evening that we're going to be doing our next live. Again, you can ensure that you subscribe and your notification is on, because once I start a live, you would get a notification so that you can log on. And I would wait normally 5 to 10 minutes so other persons can join. Also, if you are on my Instagram page, I normally post it in the day so you have an idea of what time we're going to be doing the live. All right. Keisha, what's the name of the group? It is Discord. Um, Keisha, are you on Instagram? Let me know because the link is in my bio. Yes, Vortex. See you next time. It was my pleasure. Yes, Let Low. See you next time as well. Low, we're trying to do the live every day. I know that you have 14 days for your exam, so I want to finish all of the past papers before your exams start. So we're aiming for every day. If it cannot work every day, it's every other day. So if not today, then the other day. Okay? Um, yes, the answers will be posted. Some are already posted. Just give me a little time and I will get them up for you. So for the persons who are not aware, there is a blog as well. You can access the answers to the blog as well there, and the specimen papers would have been there as well on the blog, so you can get them before, so you can do your map reading section, etc., before we actually go through them. Yes, Charles Green, thank you so much for subscribing. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys for joining, and you are welcome. Have a wonderful day. Bye, Chelsea, Liverpool. I'm going to post the Discord link right now in this chat, so you can get to be a part of it. So you don't leave just yet. Let me find it for you first. All right, here you go. That's the link to the geography group. So just ensure that you log in. If you have any questions, you can ask. Okay? Bye guys. Bye Nero.